Welcome to the DNA Advantage podcast, where you can learn facts about your DNA that can help you live a healthier, longer life, doing all the activities you dream of doing. If you want to gain more control over your health and the factors that influence it, you're in the right place. Hello. I wanted to talk about a few things I've heard and completely appreciate because it can be really difficult to know where to start when it comes to your health and your symptoms and even your performance. When you start to identify things that we want to accomplish, whether it's overcoming a symptom or achieving a certain performance goal or being proactive and preventing things from occurring as we get older, it can be difficult because it's something that we can easily say, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll figure it out tomorrow. There's got to be a protocol for that because that's just the way things are right now. We all move at a pretty rapid pace, and sometimes we feel like it needs to be built for us to follow the steps. What I would encourage you to do if you have any desire to do any of the things I mentioned, if you have symptoms, we definitely need to get those addressed immediately because symptoms are the only way the body can talk to you. It's the only way your body can let you know that something's wrong and give you indications of what it is that you're doing that may need to change. So if you have performance goals, when is a better time than now to start? Instead of waiting for someone else's plan, we need to make our own plan. We need to make our own strategy. I like to help people with that, but if you have the desire for it and you have the ability to start on your own, everyone has the ability to start on their own. That's what I'm encouraging is don't wait for even someone like me to do it for you. Do it, get started. And then when you need help, let someone know. Find someone that can be your advocate. Find someone that can be your supporter. Even if it's just a quick free call with me to say, hey, here's where I am. Here's what I want to achieve. What do you think? Like, I don't mind. That's what I'm here for. I think where we get stuck a lot of times is, again, just thinking that we need to have all the answers before we move forward, or we need to know what's going to work best. No one knows. Even when it comes to going to doctors and getting medication, they don't know that that's going to work for you. I'm sad to say that's just the way it is. And everybody is different. Everyone's body is different. So we need to know ourselves and appreciate the nuances of our own bodies so that we can be the most educated about our situation that we can be. Then, of course, we've got the preventative. When better to prevent things than now and not wait until things start going sideways and then we are behind the eight ball and have to do something to recover before we can actually improve. I'm not saying that it's too late if we are in a situation where we are dealing with challenges, because it's never too late. But I feel for those of us, including myself, I've been in this situation where I think, oh yeah, things are going along fine. Yeah, I've got a few little things here and there that I want to prevent, but I'm not sure exactly what I need to do about it. Then figure it out. Like, let's do this. Let's figure this out and not wait. Because the challenge is when we wait and when we put things off, it really is just making excuses and biding our time and not making the most of our opportunities that we have right before us. Let's get back to addressing symptoms. What we want to do first is we want to start by understanding what our symptoms are telling us. So it will be a little bit of work. You want to document your symptoms. You want to identify what might be contributing to your symptoms. You want to get a sense of the subtleties of the symptoms. So when are they worse? When are they better? When do they begin? Is it before or after a meal? Is it during a stressful time? Is it at a time where you have more fatigue or you haven't had good sleep the night before? We really just need to have a better understanding of how our bodies are functioning and what our bodies are telling us. We can't just accept the way things are, as most people will encourage us to do. We don't want to let it go too far. And that's where I really believe we've gone astray, because when we are told, let's wait 6 months and see how you're doing, I don't know that that's a good strategy. If we're going to do that, let's at least have some sort of tracking on a daily basis. Let's have some sort of accountability of what we're doing and what's contributing to the symptoms. Because let's think about how far things can either improve or decline in 6 months. That's a long stretch to just let things go. And if we have a symptom that we're aware of, it's a chief complaint, we want to improve it, it's holding us back, we need to be able to recognize how it's presenting. So we have to give ourselves every benefit of that documentation and not just see how it goes. It will take some time. So I'm not saying that within 2 days are going to feel better. I mean, you might, but give yourself some time to experience the improvements. But my point is that if you are taking a medication and then you're just waiting to see how your body handles it, that medication might be masking the symptoms, but it's very unlikely that it's addressing the root cause. So what we're trying to do by looking at the symptoms, by documenting all of the details of contributors and such, we're looking at what's going on. How can we solve this? What is the root cause? We're not giving ourselves enough rope to hang ourselves when it comes to just, okay, we're just going to let ourselves hang out there and twist in the wind and wait until we see if the body just magically resolves it. The body is meant to heal and the body is capable of healing. But when we are presenting with disease or symptoms, there's something that's imbalanced, or there's something that is deficient, or there is a toxicity that we're dealing with. And we could have an imbalance of oxidative stress, too much oxidative stress. We could have an imbalance of inflammation. We could have an imbalance of the digestive tract, the gut microbiome. We could have immune imbalances and deficiencies of nutrition. We could have toxicities, and we need to support the body. This is what we're trying to get our arms around. So get clear, or at least clearer, on what's happening. What category are we dealing with? When it comes to performance, it's similar, because what we're looking at is we want to improve. So we're improving health when it comes to symptoms. We're improving performance when it comes to like athletics or any kind of physical achievement that you're trying to hit. So you're trying to achieve a particular level of performance. And so you have to gauge, where am I now? What do I want to achieve? And by what date do I want to achieve it? It could be speed, agility. It could be endurance goals. So if you think about a player in lacrosse that plays offense and defense, when you think about that, you think about stick skills, hand-eye coordination, running, but you don't, well, I didn't think about how much endurance is necessary playing offense and defense. That could be your undoing. If you don't have sustainability and the endurance to keep you going, you're going to just tank. So your achievement of your performance goal is not going to be achievable if you can't maintain your energy throughout the game. We have to look then at what are the contributors to your endurance. And of course, anything contributing to it, your nutrition, your water intake, making sure you stay hydrated, making sure you have the electrolytes, making sure that there's proper rest and sleep before the games. And then when we get even deeper, for those who are really into athletics and really into health, we look at DNA, and we can appreciate what your fast twitch and slow twitch genetics are. And when we look at your DNA, we're able to understand how well you manage your electrolytes and your minerals, and what do you need to compensate with to really maximize performance. There are just many, many things that you can do. You can educate yourself on where you need the help and what is your current status. And then you can always ask for help when it comes to getting to that next level. And it may be that you just need quick guidance on, here's an idea, let's try this. Let's see how your body does when you implement these strategies and see what the improvements are. And then in other cases, you might want to really dive deep and get into a strategy, long-term strategy of implementing and seeing, based on your DNA, based on your health factors, your past performance, your performance goals, and what you need to do long-term. Prevention is very similar, but it is looking at the genetic concerns, or if you even have just things that you've read about, being able to recognize what your chief concerns are, and then being able to look at your body and see, how well do I process certain fats? And because that's what the brain really needs for support. And how am I managing my proteins? And how well do I sleep at this time? How focused am I? How well am I able to navigate from one task to the next? And based on all of the clues that your body and your brain are giving you, then you're able to formulate a strategy. And then if you have health concerns that are, or maybe genetic, then you look at your genes. It's not terribly difficult. You need to know which genes to look at, which ones are most important and relevant to your concern. And then you look at the opportunities to support those genes. If nothing else is taken away from this session, I would want people to understand that just because you have a gene that is compromised or that is strong, it doesn't tell you the health outcome, because we need to take care of ourselves. We need to recognize what are the epigenetic factors that are contributing to brain health in this example. So we need to be thinking about our diet, our lifestyle, and our environment. And again, we have to go back to toxicities. We have to look at nutrition. We have to look and make sure that we are giving our body all that it needs for ideal performance, and then make sure we're not getting overwhelmed by the things that can detract from that performance and that wellness. So I'm kind of saying the same thing for all of them. We're just looking at it from a different angle for each category. There's nothing more rewarding than knowing that you have a strategy for what you want to achieve. So I'm looking at just even the last post that I did that is talking about my own transformation and how I went from feeling like I was completely out of control and there was nothing I could do. I had a terrible family history. I just had to live with it. It was not going to be something I could influence or address. And I went from that to feeling like I can handle just about anything. And I know what my family history is. I understand what that impacts. I've looked at my genetics. I understand the strengths and weaknesses that I have, and I help compensate every single day through nutrition, through supplements, through my activity level, through stress relief, sleep, hydration, all of those things. And it's never going to be perfect, let's face it, but listen to your body. If you know that dairy is not going to serve you well and it causes inflammation, you have to listen to your body. You can't eat a lot of sugar, a lot of dairy, a lot of inflammatory foods and expect to be at your highest level of performance, because it can affect your joints, it can affect your mobility, it can affect even your stamina. So inflammation is not your friend. It definitely contributes to disease, and very well documented. We want to make sure that we know what our own bodies can handle and how we can compensate and set ourselves up for success. I don't want everyone to be putting it off and thinking, well, I'm about to go on vacation, so I'll just wait until after vacation, or I'll wait until the fall when things slow down because things are really busy right now. There are things you can be doing now, even if it's just in the exploratory phase, where you are looking at and documenting your symptoms or thinking about your health goals and your performance goals, or looking at the prevention and the things that you really want to focus on. And that documentation will then lead to your strategy, your plan, and your next steps. If anybody needs any help with that, let me know. If you want to set up a call, we can certainly talk about what would be most advantageous for you to be doing. And I do have some tracking sheets and things like that if you want to set up a call, or you can comment below. It really is about just knowing your body. That's the summary. Know your body. Thanks so much for joining me to learn about DNA health. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. If you'd like to join my free community where we delve into more details about DNA, just click Community below.